There is a fine line between doing a mockup and implementing a data model. Once we have a UI in place, designing the underlying data model becomes a puzzle of filling in the missing pieces. Before we go into the newsfeed, I'd like to create the object that represents users and posts. Having these in place will make things easier when we want to implement the server. We'll use property objects, which make server communication and caching trivial. First, we'll start with the user object. We will need a new package to separate the data model. I went with coname1.fbclone.data. So what do we need for a user? A lot of these things are obvious from the signup UI. First name, family name, email, phone, gender, and birthday. We also need a unique ID since security is crucial. I will go with a string-based unique ID. We also need a picture of the user to show next to his posts, so an avatar entry will also help. This is all easy to express in a business object class. These properties match the things we said we needed to know about the user. Dates are easy to store as long values since epoch. Getting the full name is a pretty common thing, so it makes sense to provide this helper method. Everything about this class is really simple, except for the avatar. It should point at an image URL, but how would we use it? To simplify that, I'll add a getAvatar method to user that will include the functionality of fetching, /caching, /resizing, and shaping the avatar image. The method accepts the image size in millimeters and returns an image that matches that size. We have an image in cache for this user. We'll return that image. We load the image from storage. If loading failed due to corrupt image, we'll delete the image file, so the next call to this method will recreate it. We create a mask image. That's a white on black circle that we'll use to crop the image so it will appear circular. We use the material design font image of a person to create an avatar placeholder image. Masking doesn't work with font image, so we convert the font image to a regular image and mask it. We have an avatar URL. We fetch the data from the URL into a file and mask using the given image automatically. This isn't trivial, but isn't hard either. It will produce the round avatar image we see in Facebook, but we aren't done yet. We need to do the post object for the newsfeed, which lists posts on the wall. Again, we can refer to the UI to decide on the content of this class. User is the person who wrote the post, date, title, content, visibility, is it public, friend only, etc. Styling, we can configure the background image color of the post, comments, and likes. We'd also need an ID for the post as before. Likes can't be a numeric count since each user can only like once. We need a list of users who liked the post. Comments should be represented as a comment object as well. I'll get to that soon. This is the post class. Again, the class matches the UI almost to the letter. Comments and likes use list property to handle multiple entries under a post. This raises the obvious question about a comment. Since we aren't close to implementing threaded comments yet, I'll have to guess about the content of this entry. Comments are bound to a parent post. They can be posted by any user. Notice I use IDs instead of objects. This will be simpler during parsing of the data. the idea of the parent comment or null. This allows us to implement nested comment threads. We'll need one final piece in the data model for now.